Welcome to my channel, where we discuss everything and all things politics, especially about the 2023 presidential election in Nigeria. And the elections of 2023 presidential election is not yet over until the Supreme Court rules. However, so many things happening in the country today are also fallout from that election, because Bola Tinubu is the president and commander-in-chief of the armed forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as of today, based on his being declared so by the Independent National Electoral Commission and having been sworn in. That is how it is until the Supreme Court says otherwise. Now, as I said, the outcome of the election is what is playing out in the country today, because whether you like it or not, Asuwaju is in charge until the Supreme Court says otherwise. Now, one of the things that's expected from anybody who is in charge is the protection of lives and property. And that responsibility is what any president that is presiding over Nigeria swore to ensure. It doesn't matter whether he was voted for or not. It is a key responsibility of being president and commander-in-chief of the armed forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Now, I decided to make this video because I saw a statement by the coalition of northern groups that were opposing the quest by Igbo leaders to see to the end of insecurity in the southeast, especially the sit at home and all that, which mainly tied to the continuous detention of the leader of the banned Indigenous People of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu. Now, the Igbo leaders, based on current realities, in their last meeting, which Governor of Imo State sort of pretended over. I think he's right now the chairman of Southeast Governors Forum. They decided that they are going to see Bola Tinubu, the president of the country, to see what he can do to stop the insecurity in the southeast and to see to the release of Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of IPOB. Now, apparently, this move by Southeast leaders did not go down well with coalition of northern groups, and they issued a statement. In that statement, they said all kinds of untruths, which I don't have to bother you here with, because if I put all of what they said, I'll be giving oxygen to their statements. But there are certain things they said which I just have to draw attention to. First of all, they said that it was the Southeast people that instigated the violence that accompanied the INSAS, that the Southeast people are supporting Nnamdi Kanu, encouraging him to do what he had been doing. And the people like him, I keep on telling them, if Southeast are supporting Nnamdi Kanu, how did they come out? Why did they come out massively to participate in the last election and voted for the candidate of their choice? It is because they believe in one Nigeria, and they believe that they have a stake in the Nigerian project. That was why they came out massively to vote for the candidate of their choice. They participated, in fact, even not for the INEC that sabotaged Southeast. Southeast would have turned out more votes than ever before. But INEC decided to come late, decided to manipulate the whole process, and disenfranchise several wards, communities in Southeast. And they couldn't participate effectively in the election. So that is a fact. So Southeast had made their position clear, and that is it. That they believe in one Nigeria, and they are working for one Nigeria. Ohaneze is for that. All the most leaders of Southeast, they are for one Nigeria, but that one Nigeria that is based on equity, justice, and fair play. One Nigeria that is based in the Constitution. Not one Nigeria in which there will be violation of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So that is one Nigeria they are talking about. That is one Nigeria that they believe in. Okay? Now, let us look at the issues that this group raised in their opposition. And then I will tell you about their hypocrisy. The hypocrisy they exhibited. Because the things they said ought to have been said against them. Now, let me continue. In their statement, which I will not bother you with much of it, but some of the fundamental issues they said that in their opposition, because this is actually targeted at Aswad Bola Tinubu. As I told you, Southeast leaders are planning to meet Aswad Bola Tinubu, so they didn't want Tinubu to actually grant the request of Southeast even before the meeting would take place. They said that this is one of the things from their statement. They said the federal authorities must resist the Igbo campaign of blackmail using Kanu's release as a precondition for sustainable peace in the land, and to ask the following question. And as I ask this question they are asking, I will be saying some things. He said, how would the relations of the over 500 personnel of the various paramilitary groups who were indiscriminately attacked and killed while on duty posts at the various checkpoints as a result of incitement by Kanu? So, how would they feel if Kanu is released? As the Commander-in-Chief of the Nigerian Armed Forces, what words would Mr. President, that's Aswad Bola Tinubu, use to encourage and retain other officers and men of the various forces if the man who incited the killing of their colleagues were to be released without even a trial? Mark this word, without even a trial. I will explain this in detail because we all know that Kanu has passed through trial. Okay? What will be the status of the families and community members of those killed, dispossessed, or displaced as a result of the hate campaigns and propaganda conducted by Nnamdi Kanu and sponsored by his regional and ethnic collaborators? How would the authorities react were other regions and people to be encouraged to take the law into their hands in the same manner as Kanu and IPOB? We'll get into that. What would Nigeria become if leaders and elders of other ethnicities chose to shield their errant sons from justice by demanding their unconditional release from custody? Moving ahead, they said they call on the federal authorities to disregard the unpatriotic calls by the Igbo leaders for Kanu's release and to remain resolute in seeing through his prosecution along with his sponsors, backers, and collaborators for the heinous crimes against the Nigerian state and the innocent Nigerian citizen, so as not to set the wrong precedent of regional leaders interfering with the cause of justice. They remind the president that by acceding to the demand for Kanu's release, his government will be exposed to question as to the status of the innocent Nigerian citizens of other regions killed, dispossessed, and displaced as a result of Kanu's incitement. Now, to look at this thing holistically, first, it is not true that Igbo leaders were demanding Kanu's release without trial. Kanu has been tried and set free by the courts. In fact, the courts that freed Nnamdi Kanu was presided by a Northerner. And these Northern groups cannot therefore not claim to be more Northerner than that judge or that justice. But relying on this lawyer, this court, relying on law and evidence, freed Kanu. Okay? In October 2022, the appeal court ended Nnamdi Kanu's trial and ordered that the IPOB leader be released. So you can see that Nnamdi Kanu was not, they are not calling for his release based on that because he didn't face trial, he should not face trial. This followed the quashing of the charges pressed by the federal government against the IPOB leader. In the ruling, the Court of Appeal in Abuja declared as unlawful the abduction of the IPOB leader from Kenya to Nigeria. A three-member panel of the appellate court also quashed the treason charges brought against him by the federal government. The Court of Appeal was of the view that the federal government breached all local and international laws in this forceful rendition of Kanu to Nigeria, thereby making the terrorism charge against him incompetent and unlawful. These are the words of the Supreme Court. So how can this group, and you know this group, they are notorious for insightful statements against certain regions. Okay, you remember they were the ones that gave quit notice to Igbos sometimes in the past. So anytime they see opportunity to say something against the Igbos, then they delight in it. It's like they get some kick from doing that. Of course, their paymasters must have been empowering them to do that. Now, this appeal, the judgment was an appeal marked CA ABJ 625-2022, filed by Kanu against an earlier ruling by Justice Binta Nyako of the Federal High Court, Abuja. Justice Oludotun Adefope Okoje, who read the lead judgment, declared as illegal and unlawful Kanu's abduction from Kenya to Nigeria. The justice quashed the remaining 7 counts in the 15-count charge filed before the Federal High Court by the federal government. Justice Binta Nyako of the Federal High Court in Abuja had, in an earlier ruling, quashed 8 of the 15 counts. What the Igbo leaders, quashed, they quashed this thing, which means that Kanu, if Nigeria is a country that believes in rule of law, he has been freed by the courts. So what the Igbo leaders are apparently saying that as Bola Tinubu should obey the law, he should follow the law. That Nigeria is a nation of laws with rule of law. So let him follow the law. And that's what I said, that he will be a law, he will follow the rule of law in his administration. He's not going to follow unlawful means. So perhaps that's what they encourage the Southeast leaders to say, that they are going to meet him on this Kanu matter. So what they are asking are therefore that Tinubu should obey the rule of law as ordered by the court. So what they are asking is not a unilateral freedom for him, but they say, okay, look at it. He has been freed by the court. Free him. And they believe that freeing him will help to quell the insecurity in the southeast. Whether they are done by IPOB or they are done by anybody, that's not issue. But there are strong belief that if he is released, the agitated youths who are alleged to be involved in violence in southeast will, will shake their sword, or so to say. Now, even without the court freeing Nnamdi Kanu, the Igbo leaders they are also free to canvass for amnesty for Kanu that have been the kind of amnesty that have been extended to Boko Haram leaders, in which these northern groups did not condemn the amnesty that have been given to this Boko Haram. That's the hypocrisy from their own part. They didn't condemn it. As these Boko Haram terrorists are being given amnesty by the Muhammad Buhari administration. And I'm sure they are still continuing with that process, even under the Tinubu administration. Because from time to time, you hear that 500 Boko Haram have surrendered. Okay, they have surrendered. They are being de-radicalized. They are being granted amnesty. We hear this every day, unless if you don't follow Nigerian news. Now, the northern groups, they were asking Tinubu, what will he tell families of security personnel killed as a result of incitement by Kanu? Now, if this thing they are saying is actually admissible in court, I think it would have been enough for Nnamdi Kanu to be convicted based on them. But Kanu is not my issue here, but I'm just looking at the hypocrisy of these groups who come out and try to give impression that they are more patriotic than other Nigerians, which is doubtful, because most Nigerians are patriotic. No part of Nigeria holds monopoly to patriotism. Now, the question to ask is, what did the Buhari administration tell families of soldiers and others killed by Boko Haram and millions displaced? There are over 3 million IDPs that were created by Boko Haram. 3 million IDPs, internally displaced persons. So what did Buhari tell their family members when they were granting those Boko Haram warlords or terrorists amnesty? What did he tell them? Okay, now let us look at the kind of damage. He was talking about 500 security officials that were allegedly killed as a result of incitement of Nnamdi Kanu. Now let us look at northern Nigeria, where you have far more worse violence than what you have in the southeast, and far more killing of soldiers and other security agents than in the southeast. And we are going to go with facts and figures, not hearsay, because we are citing authorities. According to the Borno State Governor, Professor Babagana Umar Zulu, Boko Haram has caused the emergence of 59,311 orphans whose fathers were killed. So what did Buhari tell these people that their fathers were killed before granting them amnesty and releasing them that they are de-radicalized? They will be de-radicalized. What did they tell the family members? Okay. He said that Boko Haram has caused the emergence of 59,311 orphans whose fathers were killed, and 59,213 widows that lost husbands to the insurgency in different parts of the state. In August 25, 2021, Governor Zulu also revealed that over 100,000 people have been killed in the northeast by Boko Haram insurgency. 100,000 Nigerians killed. Yet, those who did this killing were granted amnesty. When they surrender, they are granted amnesty. They are de-radicalized. What did the northern group ask Buhari? What did northern groups ask Buhari to tell their family members before granting them amnesty or before putting them for the de-radicalization through which they were eventually reintegrated into society? They didn't think about that. What was the message from Buhari to the family members of these 100,000 people that were killed before granting them amnesty? Perhaps from that, Tinubu will learn what to tell the Igbo leaders when they come for amnesty or for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. Now, Zulum also said that the whereabouts of about 10% of Borno indigenes were not known as a result of insecurity in the state. According to the UN report released by the World Body in June 2021, Boko Haram insurgency had claimed the lives of almost 350,000 lives in the Northeast. This one is the United Nations that has given this figure. The 100,000 figures was by the Borno State governor. Now this figure of 350,000. After killing this 350,000, Boko Haram commanders that surrender were given amnesty in a form of de-radicalization. And this group didn't ask what Buhari told the family members of these 350,000 before granting them amnesty. According to this report by the United Nations Development Program, many of those killed were security agents. Security agents are among the 350,000 that the United Nations is talking about that was killed. What did Buhari tell their family members before granting them amnesty? Despite this fact, many of the perpetrators were granted amnesty under the federal government's de-radicalization program. Now, if these northern groups did not condemn the amnesty for Boko Haram terrorists under the de-radicalization program, it lacked moral rights to question those who are calling for the IPOB leader to be released, especially after the court had ordered his release. The Igbo leaders, what they did was they proposed a meeting with Tinubu. It is to ensure peace in the region and the country in general, because if any part of the country is not peaceful, we'll be fooling ourselves that we have peace in Nigeria. You may go on social media and be bragging that your own zone is peaceful. But when whatever happens in the zone that is not peaceful will affect you. The killings and insecurity in the Northeast affected the whole country. The insecurity in the Southeast affected the whole country. There is no part of Nigeria that will be in turmoil that will not affect the whole country. So that is why there is need for holistic peace across the country. So it's not a time for people to start playing politics of ethnicity, religion, and all that. It's a time for think out of the box to see that the country is united and the country move forward. Now, the northern youth groups, they want the world to believe that the IPOB sit at home affected mostly northerners living in the southeast. Because if you read the whole statement, they were talking about that minority people like northerners and others who are living in southeast, who are displaced, what would Tinubu say to them? Okay? But the truth of the matter is that the sit at home and this security in the southeast affected mostly the people of Southeast who are resident in that geographic area than any other people. It is the whole residents of the Southeast that are bearing the cost of insecurity and the sit at home. And that is why all the state governors in the Southeast, they are against it. They are against the insecurity. They are against the sit at home. And the statistics bears witness why they are against it. According to the international center, according to International Center for Investigative Reporting, micro businesses in the Southeast states lost an average of 4.618 trillion naira, or about $10.495 billion in 1 year, due to the sit-at-home order by the IPOB. But IPOB denies they are not the one that gives it. Whatever happened with that sit-at-home, whoever orders it, however they are enforcing it, is costing a lot to the people of Southeast, to the economy of the Southeast, and indeed Nigeria. Because if anything that affects Southeast, Northeast economy anywhere, it affects the whole country. It will be factored in examining the economy of Nigeria. Another study conducted by SBM Intelligence for Dev East Foundation Limited, GTE, a non-for-profit policy and business advocacy group, showed that the sit-at-home have led to massive economic losses, estimated at almost 4 trillion naira in 2 years. So how could this northern group think that those who are most affected, who are displaced, are northern residents in the Southeast? It's affected everybody. It has nothing. This thing doesn't select ethnicity or religion. When they shut down Southeast on Mondays, everybody suffers. Every business suffers, whether you are indigenous or you are non-indigenous. It's a sad story. And that is why I think that the Southeast leaders are making frantic efforts to see how they will stop it. Okay? Now, yet another study by Nnewi Chamber of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture, NISEMA, showed that Southeast lost 50 billion naira. Southeast lost 50 billion naira to sit at home. So it therefore preposterous for northern groups who had little or no investment in the Southeast region to claim victims of the sit-at-home. The Southeast people are the victims whose businesses could not open on such days. Okay, and I for one, I detest the idea that Southeast cannot come out and do their business for any reason. Because I used to ask them, those who are even pushing all this sit-at-home, is that how the South Africans who are sitting at home in protest of Nelson Mandela when he was in detention? Was it what they did to ensure the release? South African blacks would have been dead before even, in terms of anything, before Nelson Mandela comes out. That's for those who think that is the way to go, to press their whatever they are demanding. It's hurting the economy of the Southeast. You have seen the figures. So let nobody come and say that his own part of the country is suffering more from it. The people who suffer it most, they are the ones that wear the shoe and know where it pitches. Where it pitches them. It's the Southeast people. The economy is paying a price for the sit-at-home, and the people are suffering. So it's wrong for this northern group to try and create division in the country by claiming that business, northern minorities in the southeast, they were displaced and all that and all that. It's not true. They can't even back their claim with any verifiable fact. You can see now I've cited sources because this is a credible channel. We don't have to throw figures without citing their sources so that you can go and verify. Okay, so it is because of the high cost of sit at home to the economy of Southeast. That is why the Southeast leaders decided that they need to go and see Aswad Bola Tinubu. Perhaps he can do something. Perhaps he could release Nnamdi Kanu as they are demanding. But the ball is in the court of Aswad. They have not even met him yet. But whatever may be the outcome, at least it shows that they are concerned about the situation and they want something to be done about it. Okay? So every reasonable Nigerian should ensure peace and whatever will bring peace. Okay? If negotiation will bring peace, if speaking with the bandits will bring peace, you go ahead and do it. Already, we know Sheikh Gumi has talked about amnesty for bandits. We know that the former governor of Zamfara State right now, when he visited the villa the other day, he was talking about amnesty for bandits. So it's the quest for peace in Nigeria is an ongoing process. And no group should come and stand in the way of peace process in the country and begin to grandstand as more patriotic than others, especially when it has not even condemned what is condemning in Southeast in his own or her own region or in their own region. Because, like I said, look at the number of people that have been killed. Look at how they are being granted amnesty under the ground of de-radicalization. Okay? And what they have done there in the Northeast is nothing to write home about. You can't compare it. It pales in comparison to what you have in the Southeast. We're talking about 350,000 UN figure. You are talking about 100,000 figure, Governor Zulum's figure. Many of them security men, soldiers, families killed by terrorists and all that. But we want peace in our country. We want Nigeria to be a united country, a country that is built on justice, fairness, and equity. Okay? Because a united Nigeria will be to the benefit of everyone. Because, let's face the fact, the economy of scale that the Nigerian population gives for growth, development of this country is enormous. Just look at China, just look at India, and you see what is possible if we have leadership that is fair to all Nigerians. Thank you for watching this video. And if you are new to my channel, you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you. And please don't forget to like this video, because when you like it, God will rank it high and recommend it for more people. Thank you, and God bless you and yours.